These are real confiscated prison shanks. I got to see this display at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. It was one of the coolest and creepiest displays there, in my opinion.
New at 6, only Channel 2 Action News is taking you inside a raid of the Fulton County Jail. And this is just some of what strike teams confiscated. Things like drugs, cell phones, shanks, a makeshift hatchet, even a bullet. Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie has this exclusive story live from Northwest Atlanta. And Mark, the sheriff believes someone actually used drones to get stuff into the hands of inmates.
And the Fulton County Sheriff's Office says this is some of the contraband recovered in the massive shakedown we're on inside the Fulton County Jail. And a lot of the illegal cell phones, which can go for thousands inside the jail, drugs and tobacco recovered, came into the jail via illegal drone drops. Wait till you see the ingenuity involved, however misguided.
The sign is very simple, ladies and gentlemen. The only thing we're going up here to do is a massive shakedown. We're looking for any weapons, drugs, or any contraband that the inmates are not supposed to have.
Sheriff Pat Labatt says the Fulton County Sheriff's Office jail strike team struck a vein of contraband quickly in the first zone they hit.
It's a cell phone and charger found within seconds of hitting his unit.
Yes. On the high security 7th floor of the Fulton County Jail.
This has been a high priority area for us with respect to drone activity.
And before Saturday morning was done, men and women normally assigned not just to the jail, but to the courthouse and across the sheriff's office, who had assembled in the early morning darkness, had amassed a massive amount of dangerous material inmates aren't supposed to have, but did. Lots of makeshift weapons, including shanks, even a makeshift hatchet, cell phones, even a bullet, suspected drugs. The Fulton County Sheriff's Office says all this from one shakedown. These are more than a half dozen suspected crack pipes?
Yes.
Taken from inside the jail.
Yep.
The Sheriff's Office says the shakedown turned up 22 illegal cell phones, suspected marijuana, tobacco, plenty of pills, even a bottle labeled as the prescription drug promethazine. And then there are the weapons.
I'm surprised the building's still standing.
Most of the weapons made from things stripped out of the building.
From the plumbing shafts to the lighting fixtures.
It smells like it.
We had watched as the stuff piled up in that one zone.
Where'd those come from?
Cell 504.
It's just our commissary kiosk.
Well, what's it turned into?
Charging station.
This is marijuana from California. This is found in the cells. And that's marijuana? Yes, sir.
How did that phone get in the window? Through the inmates burning, they'll use, as you can see, the exposed wires up as a light fixture, so they'll use that to start fires, and then they will just sit there until they can melt away the plastic. Well, the reason why now the inmates burn the holes inside of the windows is because they're using drones.
We told the story of drones in prisons, but drone drops are now a major factor in the contraband trade at the Fulton County Jail.
Absolutely. Some have crash landed and ultimately with different types of payloads.
Ain't tried. 15 on right. I'm away ain't tried.
Innocent or guilty?
I'm innocent. I'm innocent.
Near the zone, we got shakedown reaction from one inmate.
We don't have no problems back here. These folk coming up here antagonizing it. We ain't got no problems up here.
The inmate we interviewed on camera earlier this morning, what'd you find in the cell he shares with somebody else?
We collected 2 cell phones out of that cell.
You know anything about a couple of cell phones?
No name about no contraband. No name about no contraband. No cell. I'm here away ain't tried.
In fairness, Natalie Ammons with the Sheriff's Office says there is no way to know if the cell phones belong to the inmate we interviewed, a cellmate, or someone else, and he was not charged with them. And I guess this image puts a fine point on the danger faced by staff and inmates here in the Fulton County Jail. The Sheriff's Office says the jail staff does smaller shakedowns on a regular basis, but the last one of this magnitude was shortly before Thanksgiving.
Hello, y'all. Welcome to Bamm Raw TV. I'm Bamm, aka the 411 Giant. Hit that like button. I want y'all to subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you know when my next video coming out. And this episode is episode 3 of the continuation of Knives in the Federal Penitentiary. Knives are very important in the federal penitentiary because everybody got one. If they don't, it's best for you to assume everybody got one. But before we get on that, remember, the greatest weapon that you can have out in the streets or in the federal penitentiary is your brain. Then the second best is your knife. I'll tell you again, your knife is very important to you. Your knife should be your best friend. You should know the insides out of your knife. You should know the weight of it. You should know how it moves, how it do everything. You become a best friend to your knife will be a best friend for you when you need it. All right, but I'm telling, as I said I told you about knives in my previous thing, but in this, I'm going to tell you about how to lessen the damage or prevent damage from a knife. And I'm going to tell you a few ways that you can lessen or prevent the damage, depending on the situation. All situations ain't cut and dry. Some pop off. Some you go into it, so you already can prepare. And I'll start with that one. Now, say that something pop off on the yard. You know that you finna go to put in work. You're supposed to always have something within your perimeter that you can make armor out of. And you take that, was it magazines, I've seen people use newspaper, magazines, any substance that can lessen the effect of a knife penetrating or can stop it. And you get that and you put it on you. Make sure that you have it wrapped around you tight. And then you get you ace bandages or whatever, and you wrap it around. You make sure it's secure and stay in place. And then you go to war. They hit you with a knife. If their knife ain't sharp enough, if it ain't spiked, if it ain't pushing with enough power, you stand a chance or it's not penetrating, depending on how thick your armor is. Or even if it penetrates, it's gonna only cause a little minor damage. And that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to lessen the damage. Not so much as not, hey, I don't want no damage, because there's going to be places that he could hit you at regardless. Your armor is only to protect your soft and your vital organs and the soft parts. You understand? So it ain't for, you don't take some on the arm and block it and going on, but that's what that's for. Also, it's important to know that not just because you don't have no armor don't mean that you can't lessen the damage of a knife. You can lessen the effect of damage from a knife by what they call it, boxer would call it sliding. By sliding, you say for instance, I'm not a boxer, but I've been around some. And they would tell you, a good boxer would tell you that when you see a punch coming and you can't stop it, it's going to make contact. The punch is coming, it's going to make contact. It's human nature to bristle or to brace yourself for contact or something. So when it coming, a non-trained person will brace himself for their lick and then make it more effective. A boxer see it coming and you know he can't avoid it. He'll slide it. He'll roll with it. So that it lessen the damage. Instead of giving the chin, he'll roll with it. The same thing with knife. I got a scar that go right across like here. It didn't go no deeper. It went by that deep. But at where the knife started that he hit me at, where he started, it was right here. So if I just bristled up against it, it would have pushed on in with the power that he was hitting it with. It would have pushed on in. But what I did, as soon as I felt the contact of it, I rolled with it, and it just cut me by that deep crowd there. Then I went on to work. Yeah, so that was important because that could have debilitated me to the point where I couldn't have put the work in that I did. But because I was able to roll with it, I was able to come back and finish dancing. So that is important. Know how to roll with it and don't just bristle up. You roll with that and lessen the damage. Even that they're even rolling off your arms, that's very important to learn the difference between bracing, to get yourself away from that bracing against a punch or bracing against a knife strike and rolling with it damage. Always keep your body small. You go on, you want to protect your vital organs. You want to keep a bone out off in front of them. You want to keep something bone. You want to keep a bone out in front of them. You don't want to expose vital organs because if they catch you with a spike up in there, you know, the damage that's going to do in internal injuries is going to far outweigh getting hit right here on the arm by a spike or by a flat. So that's very, very, very important to know. And even you may have seen some people, hopefully I'm telling this to somebody who haven't been to penitentiary to keep them from having to ask these questions to somebody else. You'll see individuals where you may not have a knife and you're going into a situation, they're shaking down your unit, or you got to go through a security measure somebody else don't have to go through. So it's a good chance that individuals over here may have a knife and you don't. You want to take your long towel, and you can actually use a towel to control an individual arm. If an individual swings you like that with a knife and you take the towel and wrap it, you can control his arm and try to take the knife. You know, I have seen people use that going on. It's not a technique that I ever used, but I have seen it. You know what I'm saying? So it's ways to avoid the damage of a knife, even if you don't have one. But if you got one, you know, the best damage is to try to get your man down before he gets you down. But also be aware that this man got a knife and be able to slide it. But I'll tell this here, a lot of people have never had personal contact or stabbing somebody. And when you stab somebody, it's not like shooting somebody from a great distance. When you shoot somebody from a great distance, when the bullets hit them people, you don't feel that impact. You don't feel that life in them people. You don't feel that energy. You don't feel that pullback. But when you're stabbing somebody, it's personal. It's personal. You feel that knife tearing through their flesh. You feel that knife twisting in their flesh. You feel their reaction to that knife. You feel their flesh giving away to your knife, but you also feel them clenching. You can feel their muscle tension, tension from the pain. So you and that person become one. When y'all doing that dance, so you basically feeling this. And if you don't have the heart for that, it'll make you lighten up on it. It'll make you lighten up instead of jug harder. It'll make you lighten up because you ain't used to feeling this here. You're not used to feeling this here. You're used to shooting somebody from 100 yards, or you used to walking up on somebody shooting. You never feel the impact of that bullet. You're gonna feel yourself when you stabbing somebody else. You're gonna feel the impact of their knife. You're gonna feel the impact of that knife hitting them, piercing their flesh. You're gonna feel their muscles reacting to that. You're gonna feel their body reacting to that. Knife fighting is very personal. It's very personal. And you got to have the stomach as well as the heart for it. Hey, this is Bamm Raw TV, and I hope this give y'all a little information that you don't have to ask anybody else. Go check out Bamm Raw TV when you want to know something. I'm going to try to put it all in there. Look at, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. All right, so you know when my next video coming out. All right, love y'all. Peace.
Come on, that chicken, man. Let's sell my chicken, man. Go. Crazy come on, that chicken.
anytime, any moment, somebody can take your life for anything.
All these weapons are made to stab somebody or to have somebody stabbed. Some of the weapons that are confiscated here at Folsom Prison. For example, this weapon here was used in our main yard. You could still see the blood on it. And this was the actual called hit from one of the gang members. That means an inmate who we call a shot caller asked an inmate or told an inmate to stab somebody. A lot of our aluminum pieces are found inside our dining room area. They're cut from there. We have plastic weapons that are utilized here. Plastic spoons, styrofoam cups, combs, and Ziploc bags. They're melted down and then they're sharpened. Inmates are very ingenious. For example, here's a weapon that was found in our facility just recently. As you can see, that's a pretty effective weapon.
Gangs in prison are much more intense and ruthless than gangs on the